Hey guys, so obviously with the coronavirus right now, you must be like lying in bed all the time. So you're probably thinking, hey, what's ing in Spanish? I know all of you are probably thinking about that. So today we're here to teach you that with the present progressive tense. So the present progressive tense, or el presente progressivo. So in English, like I kind of just said, this tense is for ings. So the ing form of a verb, running, swimming, jumping. So obviously it's an ongoing action, and for 98% of verbs, you either add ando or yendo to the end. And you usually need a star in front of it almost every single time. So for AR verbs, you take away the AR ending and add ando. So you have comprar, you take away the AR ending, you have compr, and then comprando, for example. And then here are some other examples that we have. Estoy mirando el show en este momento. So obviously you have mirar, but you took away the AR and added ando. So the verb to watch becomes watching. So estoy mirando el show. Yeah. So Jeff está usando el baño ahora. Jeff is using, usar, usando. And this is a little bit hard. This is an example. It's pretty hard. So todos han estado tomando el café casi cada día. You most likely don't know the verb haber, but yeah. So everyone has been drinking. Tomar or beber is another synonym. Okay, so now er and ir verb, which are essentially the same thing, but instead of ando, you add iendo. So for example, if you have vivir, you take away the ir. You have viv, you add the iendo, viviendo. Estoy viviendo en una casa. Carmen y sus amigos están comiendo los huevos. Carmen and her friends are eating the eggs. So comer, comiendo. Trump está bebiendo de su hydroflask. Trump is drinking, beber, bebiendo. Estamos viviendo en una mansión. Okay, and essentially that's kind of the entire tense, at least the present version of it. It's not that difficult. However, there are a good amount of irregulars, so we're going to go on to that now. So the one you should know the most probably is for ir, that is yendo. So for example, estoy yendo a la tienda. I am going to the store. It's not estoy yendo. So if you take that away, there's nothing there. So it's just yendo with a Y. Okay, so for the next couple, if you're most likely learning this tense before you learn the past tense in Spanish, and it's a little bit hard to describe why this occurs if you don't know the past tense. But basically, morir, you have the O, M-O-R-I-R, right? And instead of just taking away the IR and ending moriendo, it would be muriendo. And basically, just to explain this, essentially, in the past tense, some verbs in the singular and plural form have stem changes. Obviously, this is muero, mueres in the present tense. And in the past tense, it only changes for the singular and plural versions of it. So, el murió, ellos murieron, with a U. So that's why the U kind of carries over to this tense too. However, if you are learning in school right now and you have not learned the preterite, there's not really a way to know, so you're most likely good. So this applies to mentir, mintiendo, pedir, pidiendo, all that. So dar is a good one to know, dando. Well, it's normal, but just you might not expect it. So él me está dando mucho dinero. He is giving me a lot of money. And then here's a reflexive verb, so cepillarse. So there's not really a way to translate this if you don't know the ending, but or if you don't know the pronoun. But for example, you have él se está cepillando. So you keep the normal version of the verb, and then you add se in front of the estar. So for example, it could be me estoy, or yo me estoy cepillando los dientes. Tú te estás cepillando. Ellos se están cepillando. Obviously, match up the conjugated form, the correct version of estar, and then you can add the ando or yendo. This applies to basically all reflexive verbs. So huir, you might know this one, to run away. Huyendo, UIR. That's why it becomes Y, just like ir. Están huyendo de aquí, they're running away from here. The same applies for destruir. Estamos destruyendo el edificio. This is like construir, the verb to build. You have the UIR, so it becomes a Y. Estamos construyendo el edificio. We're building the building. Yeah, that's a good sentence, but yeah. And a little bit more. So here are the examples that are not with the star. I mentioned that I said 98%. Here are the other 2%. I don't see it that often, but you might run into it. So basically, you can have dándole el dinero, no tiene ningún punto. So giving him, dando, le, him, the money doesn't have any point. This can kind of change. So for example, dándoles, giving them the money. Something like that. Dándome el dinero. Yeah. And then here's a reflexive version. Hay dos personas cepillándose los dientes en aquel cuarto. So there are two people brushing their teeth in that room over there. And obviously, this is a little bit hard to use. And one thing to add on is that they usually, I've never seen them without an accent. One thing I wanted to add on is talking about verbs inside of other verbs. So decir in the present progressive is diciendo. That's also an irregular one I forgot to mention. But predecir, you see it has decir inside of it. This is to tell or to say, and this is to predict. And so obviously it's decir with an E, but it changes to an I in the present progressive. And that I stays over in the, whoops, what happened there? Okay, it's a little bit whack. Okay, so that happens in the present progressive. And another example of a weird one is irse. So to say I am going is estoy yendo. But if you say I'm going out or I'm leaving, me estoy yendo. That's irse, to go out or to leave. And that's all, just one thing to add. Okay, so that's all the el presente progresivo. Thanks for watching. See ya. Stay safe, boys.